It's Cougar Sports Saturday.
That's caught! Touchdown! Stayed inside the boundary and gets in for 6.
Cougar Sports Saturday, a presentation of KSL Sports.
Richie right to the rim, driving score! He would not be denied!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Sponsored by Any Hour Services, Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Your hosts are Mitch Harper and Kyle Ireland. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Hope all of you are having a fantastic game day Saturday. Mitch Harper, Kyle Ireland with you. Hour number 2 is off and running here on Cougar Sports Saturday. We're live from Boulder, Colorado. KSL News Time, 1:08 p.m. on this Saturday, September 27th, game number 4 for the BYU football season. And Kyle, it's a beautiful day here in Colorado. Great weather conditions. We were out and about a little bit this morning, got to see Folsom Field. There was even a little bit of a political protest. We saw that. We're getting the full Colorado experience a little bit. But it's a good day for football. And earlier this week, in any game in football, it's going to be one in the trenches. And BYU's defensive tackles have been an area of strength. Keanu Tanavasa, John Talmoy-Payau. They've all had a lot of success this season. Now they get additional reinforcements with Oklahoma State transfer Justin Kirkland. And to talk about this position group as they get ready for the Buffs, I caught up with Coach Sione Po'uha, BYU defensive tackles coach, and I asked him how he would assess how his D tackles have played in non-conference play.
Yeah, I mean, we're proud to, where we're at this point, but we know we still got things we will take care of. One of our core values is to remain humble and hungry. And even though, we got the victory, you stay humble about that, but you become hungry for the things that you know that you could do better. And so guys coming back, it was good that this morning, extra guys came in and watched film in this morning. So you kind of see the hunger and then to be able to correct the things that we had to correct and then show that in practice.
So you haven't seen any change now with this group being ranked, and so they're still remaining humble then?
Yeah, no doubt. We just stay where we're at and just work the way we work. They always say what got you there will keep you there, or they always say go back to the basics. You never leave the basics and just stay with what got you there. And so we've got a formula, we've got a culture, and so we just try to do us better every single week.
Has Keanu Tanavasa been everything you'd hoped for when you got him in the portal?
Yeah, I think Keanu, John Talmoy-Payau, Justin Kirkland, Anisi Kafusi Parkofe. I mean, everybody has been what we've expected, even more. And I think it's just because of the character, the homes that they come from. So those guys have all collectively, individually and collectively, have been a bright spot for our room.
You brought up Kirkland. Will he play this week?
Yes. Yep. So we're planning on him. He's ready to roll, man, and he's super excited.
What does he bring to this position group? Because each guy brings their own piece to this room, but what did you guys see in Kirkland when you got him in the spring portal window?
Yeah, I mean, he comes with tons of experience, has a lot of game snaps, and so just the wisdom that comes with that is you can't duplicate that or teach that in the classroom. So his experience and his expertise and his form of play is what he brings. And
John Talmoy-Payau is still, I think, a name that gets overlooked sometimes by the fans. I mean, he's been really good in spring and camp. This is no surprise to you guys. But what was it about him? Where's he taking the biggest jump from, last year to now, where he's a real difference maker along with Keanu?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about people being all in. I mean, he has a different version of all in. He had to voluntarily, take a red shirt in order for it to come back in a winner, and had plenty of opportunities in the other places, but he chose to stay for BYU. And so that kind of commitment is really awesome. You know what I mean? To see that kind of commitment. And this is just really the outcomes or the fruits of his commitment to BYU. And so, other than, him making plays and all that stuff, I'm sure as Cougar Nation knows that those are the kind of men that we have, especially in John Talmoy-Payau, man. I mean, they'll be proud of him on and off the field.
This year, Colorado's got a bigger offensive line. Yeah. What's some of the differences in Colorado this year, and how do you feel like you guys stack up in the interior?
Yeah, I mean, a big offensive line. They play well together. I mean, they got that great tackle on the edge, and so all of them they work great as a unit together. And so we just got to make sure that we work great as a unit as well, right? And so it's really their unit versus ours. Again, they're a great unit and they play well together, and so we got to make sure that we show up ready.
What have been some? You guys are getting ready for your the Big 12 conference portion of the schedule. 2 years into this thing in the league, what have been some maybe characteristics that have been kind of carryovers from the previous years that you feel like, hey, this kind of applies to navigating a Big 12 conference season and trying to, be the best that you can each week?
Yeah, I think it's just being a better version of yourself, right? You don't really let circumstances or stages or anything or rankings or anything really change who you are. So just our ability to become better at who we are, what our culture is, and what our identity is. That's something that we'll just evolve. And I don't think that's attributed to going to a conference or a non-conference. I think that's just something you try to do every single year as an individual and as a team. And so for us, just trying to be more humble, trying to be more hungry, trying to love and learn more, and as we become better versions of ourselves, that's the product we want to put on the field.
Last few moments here with Coach Po'uha. Appreciate all the time, Coach. I know that you coach the D tackles and you're not coaching the D ends, but you guys all work together. Is there any reason that's caused maybe the D ends to not get any sacks? We see the D tackles with Keanu, John Tamoipeo. Is there any reason for that? Is that kind of like the method to the scheme with the defensive ends, maybe not getting those sacks? I know Logan's been great with tackle for loss, but any kind of explanation to that, you'd say?
Everybody will make the plays when it comes their ways. And so everybody just waits and does their job, and things come accordingly. And so guys are really just focused on how they do their job, how they do it really well, and the production comes in its own. And so we just take care of, we can take care of each player, same thing, especially with the D tackles. We do what we can do, right? And the plays will come our way. But our first most responsibility is to be able to take care of our technique, take care of our fundamentals, and then that stuff comes after.
Last thing, and how beneficial has it been to where this is year 3? You guys have all worked together here at BYU, this coaching staff. How much, I don't want to say it's easy because it's hard every week to get these wins, but just how helpful is it to get a head start on a week when you guys just are all in alignment?
Yeah, I think we're in alignment with our culture, We're in alignment with our goals and our vision and the mission of the school. And so I think as everybody does that, what we do is we bring our version of that culture. And so we're kind of like a bouquet, if that makes sense, right? And so we celebrate each other. We celebrate each other's wins, celebrate each other's highlight within the culture. And so that's what makes it super enjoyable to be here. And I think it's really just the offspring of what's happening, right? If we're able to enjoy each other's company and working with each other and having challenges and overcoming those challenges in alignment with the vision and goals of the school and also the program. And so just doing that provides like a compass for us, if that makes sense. And so when we're all looking the same direction, man, we can all roll at the same speed.
I know I said last question, but I got one more. Yeah. How's it been coaching your son still, second year with Ville, and him, continuing to develop along that defensive end spot, taking on a bigger role this year? How much you enjoyed seeing your son taking on a bigger role?
Yeah, it's been super awesome to see him kind of just blossom, and more importantly, blossom on his own, right? Blossom into his own name, and I love the fact that he's able to do what he has to do and have the growing pains at the same time that he has to go to. My main job is to not be his coach. My main job is to be his dad. So for me, it's all about gas money, pizzas, and door dashes, and I'm happy to do that. Of course, I'll be there to be able to help with any schematical stuff. But man, Coach Anderson and Coach K-Pop do such a good job with him and stuff. And so again, I'm just here for the pizzas and for the door dashes that he needs. Man, try to be the best dad I can.
And that's BYU defensive tackles coach Sione Po'uha here on Cougar Sports Saturday on a game day. BYU and Colorado. Mitch Harper and Kyle Ireland with you. And this defensive line for BYU, Kyle, I think they've done a nice job so far. The defensive ends, as you heard Coach Po'uha, I asked him, what's going on there with the D ends not getting any sacks? And he kind of just referred to no one's worried about individual accolades. But that is, if you want to get nitpicky about this defense, an area where you want to see maybe improvement is finishing the job and getting home those defensive ends.
Yeah, I think that Logan Lutui in particular has had an excellent season on the edge there, but Buddy Schoonover, his son Ville, they've all had a great season so far through 3 games. But you talk about the interior there, you've got JT, Nisi Purcell, Keanu Tanavasa. BYU's defensive front is tough, Mitch, and they're going to need to be in order to get to the quarterback and to be able to cause pressure. And really, I think the way that they've been able to play so far this season, you've seen what it's done for the linebacker and safety groups as well. You look at Jack Kelly, who had 2 sacks last week alone against ECU. I think it's really benefiting Isaiah Glasker and Kelly as well to be able to have the front that's playing in front of them.
You look at the Colorado offensive line, they are much bigger than they were a season ago. Colorado's O-line, as you heard my conversation with Coach Po'uha. Here's some of the weights of the offensive line of Colorado. Jordan, the franchise Seton, the 5-star, number 1 rated recruit left tackle, 6'5", 330. Xavier Hill, 320. Zarian McGill, 320. Zy Chrysler, the heralded transfer from Illinois, 340. Larry Johnson, the third, 350. They are big. So this is going to be a much stiffer test than last year's offensive line that BYU faced from Colorado. But still, I feel like BYU defensively with Tanavasa, with Purcell, with Taumai Peau, now the addition of Kirkland, that helps round out the depth to keep those bodies fresh. And then I think those defensive ends, if they can, break free and get home and get a sack or two, I think that'd be huge for this defensive line. But appreciate Coach Po'uha spending a few minutes with me earlier this week. Let's take a break, and on the other side, we'll get to more BYU and Colorado player availability report. Who's in, who's out? Let's hit on that next here on Cougar Sports Saturday, live from Boulder on KSL News Radio.